Hello puppet lovers! Have you ever sat through the Puppet Master series and hoped that one day a new film will come out in the franchise that will have over-the-top, mean-spirited gore? Well, regardless if you wanted it or not, the movie is here. I am Thorstein from Cinema Terror, and this is my review of Puppet Master: The Lidless Reich. Puppet Master: The Lidless Reich is a sort of reboot of the series. The filmmakers have said that the movie lives in its own parallel universe, and I think that's the right way to look at the film. I am guessing that this is called The Lidless Reich and not just Puppet Master, as they are prepared that a big budget remake could happen in the future, and big budget Hollywood is not what you get in The Lidless Reich. The story here is that it's 30 years after the gruesome Toulon murders. To mark this event, there is a convention held in Texas, where people will be able to take a tour of the Toulon mansion and get to know its backstory, and there will also be held an auction where people are going to be selling off their original Toulon-created Nazi puppets. To get us to this convention, we follow the recently divorced guy named Edgar, played by Thomas Lennon. When he moved back temporarily at his parents' house, he discovered his deceased brother's old puppet, a Blade one. He feels like he can get some closure by bringing the puppet to the convention and auction it away, so he picks up a new girlfriend that he's introduced to and in love with the following scene, and their geeky friend Markowitz before heading out to the convention. As you might expect, all the puppets that are brought to the convention starts to come to life and bloody mayhem ensues.
And now your symbols are nothing more than trinkets for us to collect. Souvenirs of your failure and our survival.
And mayhem it sure had. I'm not sure how many puppets that are tormenting the people at this convention, but it had to be about a total of 20 or 30. Many looked the same though and had small variations from each other, so don't expect a film with a rich line of new puppets. You do get new versions of the ones you love, like Blade, Pinhead and Torch, but I don't think you will find new ones that you will be able to love as much, and that has to do with the way the puppets are filmed. They shoot them moving mostly without showing the entire puppet, basically letting the camera work portray the movements, so we get full body views of them only when they're either flying around or killing someone off. If you enjoy watching puppets kill people, then this film definitively has enough of that to satisfy you. Oh, and if you are a fan of Jester or Six Shooter, then I'm sorry to say they did not make an appearance here, although some of the new characters could be influenced by them. Oh, I was actually wrong on one part. There is one puppet that I will definitively remember, and it's a historical figure making his big comeback in the body of a little puppet. And that's all I will say about it, as I don't want to spoil a surprise for you if you decide to watch the film. Having a lot of kills also means they have a lot of victims, so the hotel is filled with people who are just there to be slaughtered off. The kill scenes are gory as hell, over the top to the point where they try to make you laugh at how absurd and crazy the murders are. The problem for my viewing pleasure is that many of them just look mean-spirited to me. And I have no trouble watching mean-spirited movies. Hell, take a look at what I review on my channel and you will find movies that are vile, disgusting and just made to shock you. I have no trouble with that, but I didn't have much fun while watching the gore scenes in this Puppet Master movie, as I found it to just be slaughter for slaughter's sake. Also, some of the gore effects was just not that impressive, even if I felt like they did spend a lot of time on them and did want it to be the standout aspect of the film. There was one scene that was effective and made me go holy shit though, and it involves a woman in a vulnerable state. You'll know what I mean when you see it. There is also some big changes done to the André Toulon character. No longer is he against the Nazis. Here he is a full Nazi himself, and his puppets are all created to abide the Third Reich. He is not very present in the film though, only making an appearance during the start and the end of the film. In the opening scene he is played by cult hero Udo Kier, and Kier fits the part so well that I was sad to not see more of him as the movie went by. I felt like we were robbed of a potential classic Kier movie by not having him be more involved, and I would definitively watch an Udo Kier starring Puppet Master movie where it is all about André Toulon.
I saw that the primary responsibility of a bartender is to serve and engage the customers in a conversation. Is companionship something that you offer?
Sadly, I did not care about the main characters at all. I found Thomas Lennon's character Edgar to just be as bland as possible. He writes comic books, works at a comic book store and, yeah, nothing else to him. I guess the main reason why I didn't care for the characters was that all the humor that was put in the dialogue fell flat to me. At times I was unsure if some of the lines delivered was supposed to be funny or not, and that's not a good thing. So whenever we just spent time with them, I felt myself becoming less and less interested. And did they really need to introduce Edgar as a recently divorced guy, just to have him meet a love interest in the very next scene? They should rather just went with him having to go home due to financial problems or something like that, as the divorced angle goes nowhere interesting. That's also something this movie does a lot. They mention backstories about the characters that play no part in the film ever again. There was 2 characters that stood out a bit and that I did enjoy, outside of Udo Kier of course, as there's no way to ever dislike him. Barbara Crampton shows up as a tour guide, and one of the original police officers that put an end to Toulon 30 years ago. I have to say I'd gladly go on any tour with her as a guide, as she was excellent, engaged and funny.
These 4 cots were occupied by women. 3 of them were alive, but in terrible shape. Their eyes had been gouged out, and their bodies were covered with burns and lacerations.
The second characters that I enjoyed a lot only had a small part, and that was Charlene Yi as Nerissa. She had the awkward nerdy girl down to a T, and I would have liked her to have a bigger part in the film. I should also mention that Matthias Hues is in this, but this part is too brief for me to give any other praise than that it was cool to see him in a movie again, as I haven't seen any of his work since the 2001 film Legion of the Dead. Put Matthias Hues in more interesting movies in the future, please. It was fun to see that the directors for this film was Tommy Wiklund and Sonny Laguna. This Swedish duo has done a few horror movies before, including the Evil Dead-inspired Wither from 2012, and I am always happy to see fellow Scandinavians get opportunities in the United States, even if they are filthy Swedes. Also, fans of Italian horror might find joy in knowing that legendary composer Fabio Frizzi did work on this film. Puppet Master The Littlest Reich is here to re-energize the franchise, and I think it's a respectable attempt, even if it didn't come together all that well in my opinion.
Why would a guy like Toulon?
It's too long.
Why would anybody create a Nazi puppet?
I think this film will gather a bigger audience than the previous films that Charles Band and his Full Moon Company did on their own, but I doubt it will create many new long-lasting fans of the series. If you already are a big fan of the Puppet Master series, then this is a fresh take on it that I think you have a good chance of enjoying. If you are fine with the idea of a killer puppet movie, with nothing else going on than gory scenes, then have a blast. I wanted some more meat to it, with an interesting backstory, more Toulon, better characters and a better ending. The way this movie ended made me draw back half of a point in its final score, as I was sitting there thinking, was that it? The emotional punch that are present in the scene did nothing at all for me. So overall, I'm going to give Puppet Master The Littlest Reich a 2 out of 5. Have you seen Puppet Master The Littlest Reich yet? What are your thoughts on it, and what do you think of the franchise overall? If you want to see another movie with fun little demon puppets, then check out my review for the underrated 1993 horror comedy Little Devils The Birth. That hilarious movie deserves more fans. If you're new to my channel, then there are plenty of other horror movie content to be found here. I hope you enjoy my stuff and that I will see you again here on Cinema Terror.